components for struts. It all depends on how they're anchored in and what the material is on the bumper. There are bumpers that are interior metal that's covered by cosmetic components. You really want to avoid getting into just those cosmetic components, number one, because they're typically attached with push pins, and as you capture those, they have a high probability of sliding and severing those push pin attachment points, and then you lose all your attachment to the structural member underneath. So if you got a cosmetic covering, like on a standard passenger vehicle, try and skin it or get it out of the way so that you can see the interior constructed bumper and then attach to it, as long as it's bolted in with sufficient structural components. Does that make sense? So everybody look up here on the bumper. Look at how it's attached. Do you think that this bumper affords a suitable attachment point for the struts?
Yeah, because it's attached to the frame.
And how many bolts? You got one going to the frame or two going to the frame? Three. You got two, right? One in the, two in the bumper, two in the frame. If you only had a single attachment point here, what would the bumper have a potential to do? Hinge, right? Or pivot. So with those two, I'd say that's a very structural element to go ahead and attach to, provided that the gauge on this material is enough that it's not going to bend or start to fold in if it gets loaded. The only other thing you're going to watch when you're doing these is the condition of the frame rail itself. Is it stable? Is it rusted out? What's the status of the metal itself? All right, so once you're in, we're going to take a ratchet strap. Go from the base plate over to here, base plate over to there. Then we'll get the other one connected in, then we'll start simultaneously tensioning all those up. Pickup trucks present some unique challenges, especially when they have caps. Those caps are not anything structural that you're going to want to do any type of lifting off of or do any type of stabilization off of. So typically speaking, if we have a cap on the back of a pickup truck, we're going to do a cutout or we're going to work around it to get to structural components on the vehicle to stabilize this rear end.